All right, you guys. So last project we discussed the the vocabulary and kind of the outline of the reverse prompted track. All right. So the the reverse prompted track, right? I asked the ChatGPT why is it a good why would you call this reverse prompted track, right? So it says why, because usually you give a prompt and get a result, like complete code. In your system, right, you see a final result, project first, and then ask what would you have to prompt learn to get this outcome. Mm, yeah. So he says this is called like kind of like reverse engineering, right? So uh, is this called something regular when you ask a regular teacher though? He says, yeah, this is kind of like reverse engineering. So very interesting. We asked it what how come it's called engineering, right? So it says in forward engineering, right? You start with the requirements and idea and then you design it, then you build it. However, in reverse engineering, you start with the finished product like a toaster or a website or a game, then you take it apart step by step. You ask how does it work, what's it made out of, what would you have to what would you have to build from this from scratch. So technically, excuse me, we get the code right. However, we get a track of codes. We get like we get a series of different codes, and once we get a series of codes, we take them apart, and after we take them apart and kind of build them back together, by default, it will get us to a higher paradigm of understanding the bigger project. Right. So here we have a picture um, of the direction or directory tree, right? We get we get the tree directory, and um, we get the tree directory over here. Um, right. So far, we have a couple projects that are inside here. We have first sequence. First, this is where we got our first um, track. This is where we first got our track curriculum from the um, from the model. Then we asked get how to get to the first project of the first uh, uh, curriculum path, and then it gave us another sequence of paths in the second sequence, and then we asked, okay, what about the first project of this one, right? Of this track, how many projects would you have to do to get to be able to understand that project? So then that's why I gave us sequence three. And sequence three, we are so far up to three projects, right? Or two. We got two projects down, and today is the third one, right? That we do. And this is pretty much to get to we have total three curriculum paths, right? Because we got three curriculum what's it called, paths that we got to go through. And um this is funny. So we did this one. Totally deleted this thing. um so uh so we got this project, then we did this project, alert button clicked. Now we have to do the third sequence. um the third Now we have to go to the third sequence curriculum, and we have to do the third project of the third sequence curriculum, because hopefully you guys are on the same track. That by doing all these projects, it's not so much. It's like around 15, with God's help, right? That once we do them, we'll be able to get and understand the um, this big four big .html. So today we are doing project 3. Excuse me. This is very cool. So um, so we're gonna save real quick. Save. Um, so we're in sequence 1, sequence 3. Okay, so we're gonna do. So as you see, we're leveling up. We're leveling up over here. We're on our third project. We're on our 3 project over here. Project.html. Um, as you see, this is a big step forward. We got 3 projects. Um, how much more we have? We have to do one more, right? We're gonna have within here. It's gonna be 4 projects with God's help, right? And this is big. This is big stuff, you guys. Why? Why is it big stuff? Because these projects were generated by ChatGPT, because it says that if we finish these projects, we're going to be able to understand this big project, right? We're not really necessarily taking apart these different boxes over here, and we're not trying to like memorize any of this stuff. We're coming up at it at a different approach. We're trying to understand this block of text indirectly, right? So that's why we asked ChatGPT like to give us the projects first, that we should do the biggest beginner projects that we should do first, that by doing them we will understand more complicated code, right? So it gave us these different projects, and now we're moving up, you guys. It's big stuff. All right, so this is really awesome. So we got some empty code over here, and yep, project 3. All right, so let's see. Um, let's get this guy over here. I'm gonna copy this guy, put it over here. Delete. What we just did is we just what's it called? We just took the template, um, and let's see. Um, let's figure out real quick how to do this template. So ChatGPT. The good thing is that yes, at there is a point, there is in this series that we are, what's it called, kind of learning at the same time. You guys are paying attention to the live process, learning over here as well. All right, so how to make a template for VS Code. All right, so templates are usually, you could have templates in like Vim and stuff. It's pretty cool. You could do templates in there and stuff. So this is okay, so they're called snippets. So all right, let's see. So all right, Control Shift P, open type preferences. Hold up, Control Shift P, palette Preferences. Configure snippet. Configure user snippet. That's funny. Alright, so check this out. We're gonna take a picture of this. How come it's not saying that? Okay, so it says command palette. So we're gonna go type preferences, computer. Okay, so we said, dear ChatGPT, you said type preferences. However, when you look in the command prompt options, look what you get. Look what you get. Look what you get. Alright, great observation. You're right. In your screenshot, the command palette shows preferences and not configure user snippets. Here's why that might happen and how you fix it. How to find configure user snippet if it's not showing. Make sure you're typing the full phrase. Okay, Control Shift P. Hold up. Control Shift P. Preferences. Configure. Figure. Snippets. Okay. I guess you just have to write the whole thing down. That's weird. Okay. Okay, fine. All right. Go to file. Okay, fine. So you go here, snippets. So let's see, HTML. HTML boilerplate. All right. Now just type HTML5 template. Let's see. HTML5. It's weird. I'll just type or press tab. Option create a project. Template. Template. What do you think of this? You're doing great. You named it. Da 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 da. Use double quotes for attributes. UTF instead of. Yeah, so that's funny. HTML. So autocomplete doesn't work. Autocomplete. Okay. Let's see. How to find it in the autocomplete. Though. Great question. What you're seeing in the screenshot is emit autocomplete, which is built into VS shortcuts, not into your custom snippet yet. Let's fix that. Make sure the file type is correct. In the bottom of your check that the file is detected. It's code what? I find HTML 5 template. That's funny. I guess yeah. I guess it says you need to restart it. Okay, let's just keep it like that. All right, Visual Studio Code. All right, so um, other JS Mastery. Okay, whatever. All right, so oh no, that's crazy, man. It's crazy. Totally deleted it. All right. That's crazy. Okay. So, good thing ChatGPT saves your what's it called? Text. Um uh, all right, so this is probably where it is. Yeah, there you go. All right, so this is 2. All right, so this is sequence 2. All right. Sequence 2. Save. Okay, delete. All right, so now the goal is that we wanna what's it called? Um, um, project 1, project sequence 2. Okay, project 3. Okay, so we're in project 3. HTML. What do they call it? 5 template. Ah, dang it. All right. Um, Thanks for confirming. Let's troubleshoot this step by step. Something small, likely off. Try changing prefix. Um, our HTML. Allow. Okay, body. Okay, we'll just save that. Um, R. Oh, control space. When clicking, control space, no. When clicking control space, no. Since your custom snippet is not showing zero, make sure you're editing the correct snippet file. Let's see. See users, users, data, app data, roaming, code, user, snippets, HTML, J. Okay, copy. Yeah, that's what it seems like. Alright, use this known snippet exactly. Create a brand new file, save it as test and form HTML. Okay. Alright, so this is gonna get deleted. Move to recycling bin. 3 project.html. Alright, so we got this guy over here. HTML sample. That's interesting. Oh, there you go. This is what we need. Alright, so this is perfect. Alright, so we don't really want to do this. Meta. Oops. head. Maybe you need a comma separated value, or this thing over here. All right. Body, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. Excuse me. All right. So we need da 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 da. All right, we need this. So yeah, let's see. All right, so we need this guy, this guy, this guy. Let's see if it works. Or HTML. All right, seems like it works. Um, title. Da, da, da. All right. All right, so I guess now let's see if it works. I'm gonna get this guy, HTML. All right, so let's try to exit this guy out of here. Learn, allow, project 3. All right, we want to delete this guy. It's trash permanently. Make a new file. 3 project HTML and our HTML. Yeah, something's weird. Okay, whatever. Let's see. That's weird. All right. Anyway, I guess we'll have to figure out how to do it soon. Um, you know, um, but this is what we need, so it's good. All right. So today we're gonna be going through the um the project 3. So excuse me. So project 3 is inside here, and it will tell us um project 3 of sequence 3, and it's gonna tell us change um change text in tag, and with God's help we'll make another video on how to correctly set snippets inside the what's it called um inside the VS Code. All right. All right, so we got excuse me. We got this guy over here called Project 3. All right, so this is the first time we're going to be doing so we got a HTML property over here. We got HTML property that that allows you to plug in JavaScript inside. Um, it's called onClick. So it's kind of crazy because, learn how JavaScript finds an element and updates it. Select an element with get element ID and change its contents. All right. So change element ID and change its contents. So excuse me. All right. So when you do get element by ID, inner text changed. Change text. Um, input ID, and then we do it with the button. Change text, and that changes it. So um, I put my pay ID equals my paragraph original. Um, so it's gonna change the inner text. Okay, so and we're learning this method today called inner text. All right. So um, all right. So we gotta make a button, right? Then we gotta make a div, right? A div is gonna have the ID paragraph. What is it? Okay, D equals paragraph. 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 Um, original. And the button is gonna say change text. All right, so like we said, there's stuff that once you change it, it changes the visual side of it, right? However, there is things that change the hidden side of things as well, which which is not so much gonna be what's it called? Which is not gonna we're not gonna do that much because of that or the invisible stuff so much because this is a um I think this is a HTML property and we're gonna have to with God's help we'll learn a little bit of this guy today a little bit too because um this might be a HTML property to change and we'll see how it actually changes it. It's gonna grab this get element by ID and we're gonna make it equal something different. So first let's go over here. We're gonna go to JS Mastery. We're in the second sequence, third project. Change text. See, but we got the divs. We got the div and we got the box. All right. So we got this guy and we got this guy. Both of these guys and JavaScript is gonna actually um, change that with the guy. All right. So on click equals uh, document dot get element by ID get element by ID um paragraph pa- paragraph paragraph. Okay, hold up, something's off. um oh yeah, because we're inside a that's right, we gotta make one paragraph and we're gonna do inner text equals um changed. uh Hold up, not right here. So this guy is inside um changed change text. So yeah, this is supposed to work. Let's see. I'm gonna make this smaller. Changed. Wait, to refresh it. Okay, what happened? Oh yeah, yeah, I changed it. See you guys. Original, changed. Original, changed. Ah, it's crazy, crazy. Anyway, um, so we're gonna we pretty much finished today's project. However, we're gonna kind of stick a couple maybe mini projects into this project so we can understand what it means. Dot inner h dot inner text. It's be pretty fun. Um, so what is this? Is this HTML property or a JS method? Okay. So first we're gonna try to figure out what this thing is. Um, uh, it's a JavaScript property. HTML. Okay, so it's a property. Let's see. Document method. How do they? Pointing device button has been pressed and released on an element. It's interesting. What does that mean? All right. Anyway, um, it's a DOM property. Okay, so we're gonna ask how many little basic pro, programs do you have to um have to, you have to learn in order to understand very well dot inner text. Awesome question. Thinking like a real builder. To understand dot inner text well, you don't really need a lot of theory. What you need is about 7 tiny little projects. All right. Mm, all right. So read a text from a div. Um, let's see. How about writing these out a little? All right. So read a text from a div. Ah, I see. Okay, it makes sense. So so um so this is the whole thing with this concept um of what's it called? Um let's see. Um uh all right, so out of personal what's it called? You know, curiosity. Um we're gonna do a couple of these, what's it called? Um mini projects also. Um project 3. Um so we got this down. We got the basic how to say? We got the basic we got the basic we got the basic third project down. However, we want to understand a little bit about this inner text, so we're gonna what's it called? Break down a couple mini projects in order to understand it. All right, so and we'll explain about it also. So so let's do a third sequence. What is this guy at? This is third sequence. All right, mini projects, mini projects. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a folder. This guy, um, one mini HTML, one mini HTML. All right, so we're gonna learn a little bit about the dot inner HTML inside this project right now because the reason is because obviously we had it here, and this is gonna brush up some skills, and I'll show you guys some cool stuff also. So so first of all, right? He has here, right? The dot wrote some cool stuff here. Div, right? He wrote a div. Hello world. All right. Um, ID equals message. All right. Okay. So script. So now this is a really cool concept here. We discussed this a little bit before. Um, so we're gonna discuss it a little bit again. Um, constant message equals document dot get element ID message. All right, so this is part of like the invisible. We talked about this concept before that in the web we have stuff that works uh const message. We have stuff that automatically shows you stuff on the visual side, and we have stuff that shows you stuff on the hidden side. We don't see stuff. Um, and so this is one of those examples. Okay. Um, so so as you see here, we're declaring this thing called a constant. This is setting things in the invisible side. There's just certain stuff you have to do, right? Because once you start manipulating on the invisible side, you'll be able to kind of go in and out. You'll be able to kind of like make things appear within the world, right? So it's just controlling the hidden space. These commands control the hidden space. Some of the other commands they control more of the visual space, and it's pretty cool because obviously right here we made a message, right? We declared an object in the invisible space, right? And now console.log, which is a JavaScript function, right? It's saying, hey, pull this out of the invisible space and log it. Message, oops, log it in the console. Now, a console is also in the invisible space, right? Um, search the inner HTML, and you see, this is to show you that it is important. There is times where in programming, um, the programmer will um, will develop code for the invisible space because it's just conventional. There's certain stuff that just you have to do. And as you see, it is part of our track. We're trying to understand how you write big, how you get to writing big for big, right? .html. Now, ChatGPT said to us, listen, you gotta understand all these other prerequisites first. Once you understand these prerequisites, you'll easily understand for big.html, right? Now, uh, we came across this inner HTML, right? As you see, there is a what's it called? There is a um, there is a um, change in the invisible side. Um, um, and at the same time, it seems like you could even with this inner HTML change even the actual what's it called, content of um, the what's it called, of the document. Um, inner. Let's see. Wait, hold up. Um, so mini projects, project mini, hello world, inspect, console, hello world. Uh, it's a difference. Okay. Anyway, sometimes it sucks really bad. All right. And there is a text difference between text and there is also a difference between um yes, absolutely. There is very important difference between inner text and inner HTML. Inner inner HTML raw HTML contents, no. Um so this is not the same as that. So inner text. All right, so either way, um we got to get through this project. At least we finished it. It logs it, but however, even if we were to do it with the message logs it, who knows? Why I gave that as a simple. How come I gave that as a what's it called, the basic program for it? Whatever. Anyway, all right. So we gotta get to the next program because our goal is really not to dive too deep. Our goal is to get through the projects so we can get to understanding for big. All right. Now, what I was trying to tell you earlier is that if you do this, for example, it'll give you the same output. Um, however, it'll give you this. I see. That's probably the difference. But if you do inner text, it'll give you the actual what's it called, message. All right, so that makes sense. That's why it probably gave it. Okay, so we could say we finished this. So this proves it that there is stuff that's on the hidden side, the invisible side, and these are stuff that we have to know. We have to know how to manipulate the invisible side of HTML and the web and JavaScript. And the invisible side is part of the browser. It's just you cannot see it. See, now the console let you see it because it's making a kind of like a backdoor scene that's open for you to see, right? However, there is there is the visible world, and then there's the invisible world, and there's even the invisible world, which is like what we said before in a couple past videos, that we were not gonna go into that because we're just trying to figure out how to manipulate the web and the basic invisible side of the web, and not to go crazy, not to go to crazy, because we gotta plan, we gotta get to the plan, and we gotta do the projects, the prerequisite projects, that by doing them we're gonna understand this piece of code, which is really awesome. It's really awesome, because like I told you guys, we did the sequence before. We did it. Um, we did it, and you know, you guys are gonna think it's awesome. Like we did this before in a previous previously, and so once you understand these basic projects, you guys are gonna understand the bigger projects, and we're gonna be able to understand this. So it's pretty boss. So really, it's gonna be awesome. God's help. All right, so um, let's see. Um, so okay, we got sequence, mini projects. So right now we just got this mini project. Okay, sequence, mini project one. Many projects. Um, okay, so we did this. We're trying to understand right now a little bit about dot inner text, which is a uh, like it said is a JavaScript property. Um, what is it? Property. Inner text is a Java DOM property. Okay, so we're gonna copy this. Okay, so it's a JavaScript property. So property. All right, so check this out. Set a text. Our next mini project is this over here. Um, we're gonna do this. Set a text. Set a text with a button. All right. Goal is to update a text in a button. Um, in a div when a button is clicked. All right. So we got a button on click update text. So we're gonna learn a little bit about functions today. Um, output inner text. So this is like another example of how it's cool. Um, so this is a quick question we gotta ask. How is it that when it changes the um, ID, that if inner text is JS and can manipulate to console.log, how does it change the HTML also? Does it, wouldn't you need some extra code to update that it will be into the div though? Like inner HTML dot push or something? All right, so that's an excellent deep question. You're basically asking if inner dot text if dot inner text is a JS property, and HTML, then how can changing it actually update what's on the screen? When first the DOM is the bridge. When you write this in your HTML, the browser automatically turns this into a DOM object. This that div becomes like a live JavaScript object that you can access and modify using JavaScript. Think of HTML like a label on a box. When you do this, the button was clicked. You're not just changing the JavaScript variable, you are changing the text content of a real object that represents part of the HTML structure. Interesting. Think of the DOM like as a live mirror of your HTML page. That's pretty boss. When you update the inner HTML or the inner HTML, you're writing into that mirror and that reflects it. There's no push because these properties are just strings, not arrays. But you can concatenate. That would add a new HTML into the div. That would add a new HTML into the div. So summary, inner HTML replaces the visible text. Uh, Interesting. Okay. Let's see. What is this stuff called that you're talking about, though? All right. Great question. The kind of thing you're asking about, DOM manipulation summary, DOM programming. All right. So you're learning how JavaScript changes the structure of a content web dynamically. What does it take? JavaScript properties of a DOM. Okay. What do you mean they're all strings anyway? Anyway, though. All right. Fantastic follow up. This is the key concept. When you use .inner text, HTML text content, you are getting or setting a string, not an object, not an array, not HTML elements. They just look like HTML on screen. Um, for example, da 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 demo um div id demo hello world um get element by id console log type of string. Oh, okay, fine. Oh, that's cool. Even though it might return. That's why that matters, because of this you can do things like here's adding strings together. Real elements, not strings. Oh, okay, fine. That's pretty cool. Um, that is boss. All right, so that's why you do a pen child. All right, fine. That is really cool stuff. All right, we gotta remember. We gotta like set this aside so we can come back to this. All right, I'll explain to you with God's help about that project later. All right, so we did project one. Let's see. Let's get a dollar sign. All right, we did project one of sequence 3. We did project 2 of sequence 3. We did project 3 of sequence 3. And today we did project mini project of sequence 3 of project 3 of sequence 3. All right, and we're going to try to finish these little projects. Not so much. Um so what did we learn here? Um let's see. So what is the string what exactly is the string, though? let's get, so what exactly is the string when we say inner? It's a sequence. Like the inner. What is this pattern like? Say in convention dot inner text dot inner HTML dot text content are all properties that are set as strings. All right. So we could let's say dot inner text is a property of an HTML element. Dot inner text is a property of an HTML element. Object JS. When the browser loads the HTML, it builds something called a DOM, which is just a tree of JS objects representing oops browser loads the HTML, builds the DOM, which is a tree of objects, which is yes. All right, becomes JS objects. So you're accessing um, let's see. Let's see. So this becomes this. All right, you guys. Let's figure this out. Oh shoot. ID my box. So you're accessing inner text. Dang, that is awesome. All right, so how is that different from append element though? Perfect contrast. Now you're seeing the difference between modifying content and modifying structure. Inner HTML, inner text, append child, create element. just replaces text. All right. Example of inner text just replaces text. Example of inner dot text of inner text. Um, so example of inner text. This is example of inner text. Example of inner text. Box div hello inner text. Okay. Example of create element. Okay, whatever. Append child create element adds a real dom element. Okay. Show the difference of what happens like you showed like how this becomes this and how when you use append child use when you use inner HTML text. So let's see what it gives us. Yes, let's visually walk through what happens to the DOM when you use inner text versus append child. Starting HTML, my div or div, whatever that you guys see over here, div ID and box hello. So JavaScript DOM representation before any changes. Um, inner. Oh, okay, fine, interesting. Oh, gotcha. That's interesting. Text content. As if you use DOM after object DOM object after um if you use inner text, text inner text content. Okay, gotcha. Goodbye. If you use a pen child, create new user P pended ID my box. Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. All right, fine. One removes it, one adds on to it. Okay. It says context. Um. So a pen child. All right, fine. All right, makes sense. Um. Can't you just append though if you're like inner text equals Bob? The right question. The short answer is no. Append a real div. It will display raw text. Shows on page. Um, div. Literally, if you want to actually add a div, you must use dot inner HTML or append child. Okay, using inner HTML though will always using inner HTML though will always uh using inner HTML though will always um replace. It never does the functionality of adding on though. Exactly. You nailed it. All right. All right. So we're not gonna go too crazy um over here. So we got a little bit of the picture. Um, you know, um, like we learned, um, inner text, inner text, right? Replaces dot inner text replaces old invisible content and updates the DOM. Seemingly updates. Seemingly updates the DOM. Um, append and um, let's see, document dot const. Okay, whatever. Um, append child. Um, it's on to the. All right. So this is how we're just what's it called? Talking about this stuff over here. We got this invisible stuff, and we got this stuff that it's invisible, but when you change it, it manipulates the visible. So, um, cool stuff. So he taught us a little bit today about this invisible side. It's kind of crazy. Um, so um, right now we're gonna talk about. All right, hold up. Hold on. Three. Take user input and show it live to another element. Dang, that's crazy. Okay, hold up. This is not the end of the project. This is the end of the project. All right. Um. So all right. So oh, that's interesting. Inner pen child. Input ID. Input name. Um. So we're Wait a minute. We did this. Okay, we did. We did not go over here. Hold up. Uh. This is not supposed to be here. This is just what's it called? A note. Um. So we just want to put this here. All right. So this becomes this. Um. And we got this guy over here that changes things. Um. So so oops. So so we finished the first program, and right now we're about to start the second one, right? Um, so this is where we actually write a little bit of where we actually write a little bit of the document change, um, where we actually write the um, where we actually write a function, right? So there is something called like a function signature. Um, Super easy. Function signature. Excuse me. In JS. That's what it's called. In JavaScript, function signature refers to a way a function is declared. So as you see, we have this guy, we have a function, we got a name of the function called update text. Excuse me. We got the name of the function, update text, and we got the like declaration of the function starts being made, or the process of the function gets declared here. What we're gonna do? We're gonna do document dot get element by ID output. We're gonna get this output. Interchange the button was clicked. So literally, we're gonna change that. That's crazy. We're literally changing the inner text. That means it changes the whole contents of it. We're literally changing. It's literally gonna. I think literally it changes these three things. Literally by doing inner HTML. So 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 we're doing many projects. We only did one project, so right now we're gonna do the second one. So second, okay, two too many dot html dot html too many dot html, and we're gonna do that. We're gonna add it. Uh, Too many. All right, so too many. Okay, so we got this guy. Oops. We got two set. We got set text with the button. Excuse me. All right, so we got this set text, the button, and our goal is to set text with a button. Go update text with in a div when a button is clicked. All right, so we're gonna do that with the inner HTML JS. So as we remembered, we got our HTML. So then we're gonna do div. Super easy. Make a div. What does it want? Update a text. Set a text with a button. So say change. Um, change. Change this. Change this, bro. Change this, bro. All right. Change this, bro. Change this. All right. So now the goal is to make a button, right? So we're gonna make a button, and we're gonna use on click equals, and so we remember we saw it over here. Dang it. Um, change change Now, what we're gonna do is we have our button, we have a function. So we're gonna do script. We're gonna do function, name of the function, change, change the, that's the name of the function, change. It's weird. Shown. Oh, that's why. It's just not spelled correct. Like script. Okay. So now we get the highlighting, syntax highlighting. And so we're gonna do document dot get element by ID. We're gonna do get element by ID. What then? We're gonna do by ID. Okay, we gotta set an ID. Change this. ID equals uh, block. All right, so we want to change the block. Get get element by ID block, and we're gonna do dot inner inner text. There you go. And we're gonna make that equal to changed. Oops. Changed process changed. Process changed. All right. So we're just making this thing say random stuff. Get element, but process changed or whatever. We could have done it like this. However, we made it differently. So now we gotta put our function here. Change function. All right. So this should work. God's help. Let's see it in action. Now we got a second mini. Change this, bro. Oh, what happened? Let's see what's going on over here. We gotta go over to the console. Change is not defined. It's not defined. It's not defined. Oh, there you go. That's why. We gotta get this. We got closure on here. Okay. What? Still. And change. Oh, there you go. Probably this is also wrong. Wrongly spelled. Script. Alrighty. This should work. Yay, let's go. Um, and I think we could do even like else. Uh, um, I think we could do like if true. Okay. This is still kind of a working process over here, so we're just gonna skip these conditional stuff. Although it would be cool eventually to get to that level. Um, okay, so we got changes, process changed, process changed, process changed. Now, if you want to go back and forth, you gotta refresh the page. All right. Anyway, we got this thing. We got the second property. Second mini project down over here. So, uh, money sign. All right. All right, you guys, we did a lot of what's it called process today. Um, gonna add a little comment over here. Um, so we did a lot of process over here, progress, input, display. Um, uh, we put input, display. What is that thing called? Okay, so this is already asking for what's it called? Next level, design. There's gonna be next video with God's help. We're gonna put this up. So far, you know, you got this. You don't really have to. Um, three project. Okay, all these guys are saved. All right, so we did pretty much um a lot of these projects. Um, so as you guys remember, we're trying to get to the level where we will understand how to do this, right? And like we said, you know, perfectly possible. Um, and we got our JS mastery course. With God's help, that we'll finish. Um, we got this project called For Big. Has this project over here that we're trying to understand, but we're not trying to understand it directly. We're trying to understand it by means of fixing and finishing different projects. By doing the different projects, we're gonna understand how to do this, right? So we created for ourselves a list of projects to do. Um, that's all written down and clearly, spaced out over in these documents. And so far, we've been doing mainly the project in the three sequence HTML, and so right that which is right over here. This is our three sequence 8.html folder. We finished we finished a good amount of projects. Um, um, this is the first project that we started, and we got past um, uh, what's it called? So we did the first one, um, second one, third one, and then we now opened up a mini discourse inside the third project to just get a hold of inner text. And we might do a couple more of these inner directories, with God's help. Maybe, but maybe we will not even have to. Maybe we just continue going and just be able to jump back. So we still gotta finish the mini projects, um, which we'll finish in the next video with God's help. And then after that, we got project 4, and then we're ready to go to the um, second sequence, which is the level up, to the pre-existing projects. And so with God's help, we'll get more and more what's it called, um, cognizant of the higher levels, um, with the ability to level up the uh, current paradigm, right? And as you do that, and as we do that, with God's help, we'll become more knowledgeable. Um, so, wish you guys, with God's help, wish you guys a good success. Um, all good success, and you guys have um, what you need. And all right, sounds good. Till the next video, guys. All right, peace.